One of my biggest pet peeves is how people use win rates to judge champion strength, and it's even more frustrating when Riot seemingly nerfs or buffs champions due to their win rates. It's my opinion that this happened in 4.11 with both Skarner and Nidalee, so I figured now would be a good time to get this all off my chest and rant for a little bit. I've laid out 6 reasons why judging champion strength based on win rates is a bad idea, and we can kind of group these into 4 different topics. The first topic is champion difficulty. Champions that are hard to play will have deflated win rates, and champions that are easy to play will generally have inflated win rates. And of course, this makes sense. Easier to play champions can be mastered by more people, which will yield higher win rates. Lee Sin and Elise are widely considered to be the best 2 junglers in the game on 4.10. Yet despite being 2 of the best junglers in the game, Lee Sin had a win rate of 47% and Elise had a win rate of 46%. Why is this? Well, for Lee Sin there's more than one reason, but the common denominator is that they're both high skill cap champions. The same goes for Thresh, who is one of the best supports in the game but has a very high skill cap. His win rate is only 48%. No one can deny that these champions are strong, yet their win rates don't support this. If we look over to champions like Kayle, Amumu, Warwick, Misfortune, and Skarner, can any of you honestly tell me that any of these champions are difficult to play? I mean, come on. Now, I will admit that Kayle and Skarner were strong on 4.10, but their win rates are still inflated by the fact that they're easy to play. Amumu, Warwick, and Misfortune, however, are not top tier champions and are not deserving of their incredibly high win rates. They're simply easy to play and easier for players to master. The next topic is champion popularity. Champions that are popular have deflated win rates, and champions that are unpopular have inflated win rates. Why is this? Well, when we think about it logically, who is playing champions like Galio, Sejuani, and Cassiopeia in ranked games? The majority of people playing these champions are specialists. They play the champion because they like playing them and don't give a fuck if they're good or not. However, when we look at champions like Lee Sin, Thresh, Lucian, and Yasuo, people are playing these champions because they see how popular they are in LCS and high elo streams. When a player that mains top lane gets forced to play jungle, do you think he's going to pick Lee Sin, or do you think he's going to play Sejuani? He's going to play Lee Sin because he knows what's good from watching streams and seeing other people play it. What this does, however, is cause the win rate for champions like Lee Sin, Thresh, Lucian, and Yasuo to plummet because you have these players that have no idea what they're doing defaulting to them when they get forced into a role that they're not comfortable with. The next topic has to do with solo queue teamwork and in general lack of understanding of how champions work. Champions that prey on bad solo queue habits will have inflated win rates. Champions like Kayle, Amumu, Heimer, Fiddle, Skarner, and Katarina are all beneficiaries of this. Many people don't know this, but Kayle has had an incredibly high win rate for like over a year now. Back in December of last year, the jungler from my team started playing Kayle jungle when literally no one else was playing it, and he got to challenger by playing only Kayle jungle. Why? Because no one knows what the fuck to do when the target they focus gets Kayle ultied. It's like they're surprised every time it happens. Everyone tries to focus the carry, they get Kayle ulted, and everyone freaks out like, what the fuck is that yellow bubble? Holy shit, overpowered. Okay, now obviously Kayle is overpowered and frustrating to play against on 4.10, but her win rate was still inflated by this fact. The same goes for champions like Amumu, where people constantly group up for his ultimate, or Fiddle because no one ever wards, or Heimer because people think running into a group of turrets is a great idea, or Skarner because everyone panics when their carry gets ulted and carries never buy QSS, or Katarina because no one knows how to CC her and stop her from going crazy in teamfights. You might think you can make an argument like this for every champion, but the point is that not knowing how to play against these specific champions has a much bigger impact than it does for other champions. For example, not knowing how to play against Lucian isn't as big of a deal because it just means you'll take a little bit of extra damage. It's not like your entire team is getting aced because of it. And now we get to the last topic, which is that champions that receive drastic changes will have varying degrees of success. You have to take a minute to analyze the champions and think about what the win rates really mean. Let's take a look at Skarner first. The most important thing to keep in mind is that no one has played against this champion since what? Season 2? No one knows what the fuck to do against this guy because it's been so long since he's been played regularly. If you hadn't played during Season 2, you probably thought a whole new champion was released. Like, what the fuck is this purple scorpion thing? Not only is Skarner easy to play and difficult for solo queue teams to deal with, but no one understands how to play against him yet, which inflates his win rate even higher. Now granted, Skarner was strong on 4.10 patch, and I said in a previous video that he was B tier. Still below Lee Sin, Elise, and Evelynn, but on par with junglers like Vi and Nocturne. He was in no way too strong, and even if he was, we didn't have enough time to figure it out or not. And okay, it's not like the nerfs were massive or anything, but I don't think he should have been nerfed at all. Now, moving on to Nidalee, who received some buffs in 4.11. First of all, let's set aside the circle jerk that Nidalee is easy to play because she's not, and if you think she is, well, you're wrong. Plus, let's not forget that the patch shifted Nidalee into being a top lane bruiser, which is a much more difficult playstyle than the mid lane mage Nidalee. I mean, look, I was on a team with RF Legendary. I know how annoying the champion can be, but she's not easy to play at a high level. So with Nidalee, we have a combination of things. First of all, she's difficult to play, so this automatically deflates her win rate. Secondly, way more people are playing her because they want to try out the rework, and a lot of them have no no idea what the fuck they're doing. These two factors combined lead to her having an incredibly low win rate, but doesn't necessarily mean she's bad. Why is it that Riot feels the need to buff or nerf champions only 2 weeks after they've undergone massive changes? I would much rather let the changes to Skarner and Nidalee ride for a month and see how people adapt, rather than issuing unneeded buffs or nerfs immediately. Even pro players can't learn champions instantly, and just to prove my point, I'm going to go on a little bit of a side rant. I'm not sure the exact time frame on this, but I believe it was some point in the middle of Season 2 or maybe even Season 1. Everyone in NA and EU thought that Ezra was trash, and there was even a popular video with the Odd One talking about how useless he is. Meanwhile, in China, where AD carries have took the time to master the champion, he's considered overpowered and by far one of the best AD carries in the game. The other regions finally caught on to this and started playing him, realizing his potential. Then you fast forward to the Season 2 Worlds, where Ezra was the most picked and banned champion in the entire tournament. This kind of thing has happened multiple times in the history of League, and it's one of the reasons why I think we should just let champions be for a while after they get changed. At the end of the day, win rates are not a good indicator of champion strength, and using them to argue in favor of buffs or nerfs is just silly. I hope you enjoyed my rant, and I'll see you guys for the next video. See ya.